now we're going to do a new design on a new size canvas. We're going to be working on a 20 by 20 inch canvas. So it's going to be a square, and we're going to be doing a fun design from one of my sketches. And it's going to be more like a corner with focal points on each corner, but like they're bouquets, like a bouquet of flowers in this corner and in this corner, or in this corner or that corner. So opposite corners. I really think the design is going to look quite interesting. Something new I haven't done on this size canvas, and I haven't done opposite corners yet. So it'll be fun, little experiment for both of us to be looking at together and to be doing together. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start off with my PPG house interior paint as my base layer, and we'll begin this pour. So I always begin pouring very close to the edge of spreading out this paint on my canvas. I did see a couple of clumps, so I went over here. We'll get that clump out of there. I think we've got it all covered. And now we need to pop those pesky little bubbles. So I'll get out my little heat gun here. It's the embossing gun that I use. And just quickly swipe it over your entire painting. They all are surfacing. Always remember not to keep it still in one area. So that's about it for that. Got my paintbrush, I've got my paper towels. Let's talk about my color choices for this beautiful design that we're going to do. These are all of my color choices. We're going to start out with a deep violet purple. This was an aqua green. This is a light pearl green, a lime green. This is a pearl lime green, iridescent blue. This was a fuchsia, and my shocking lime green. Those are a lot of colors, but I really wanted this painting to be influenced with very floral looking, very bright, cheery, and spring-like, because we're in the spring right now, and I just feel really excited about the summer coming and being able to enjoy being outdoors more. So now we're going to begin our design, And boy, I'm super excited about this one. I haven't done this one before, so you and I are going to do it together. We'll start off with doing the purple first. Actually, I want to make sure that you did in fact see the design that I am looking at doing. And it's going to be this one where, like I said, we'll have in each corner, we'll have this little bouquet of flowers with that focal point within each of these areas of like bouquets of flowers. Very whimsical looking. So I'm hoping that this design will come out really beautiful, along with these beautiful color selections that we have for this particular pour. Starting off with, I think I'm going to look at doing my design this way and this way. So this corner and that corner. And hopefully I'll be able to reach it, because I didn't think I would be able to reach as good over on that corner. Well, actually, yeah, because I'm right-handed. I'll change it. I'm going to do my design this way and then this way. That way I can use my blow dryer, because I am right-handed with my blow dryer, and I feel like I won't be able to get it as well over on that left-hand corner. So I'm gonna do it to where it's more pleasing for me to be able to get to it. So I'll start off with my design. As I reference my design on my sketch paper, I will start designing that as I see it, as I recall. I'll start kind of like this. I'm gonna go in like a half moon shape, like that. A little drip happening. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. And then I'll kind of do the same thing over here. Bring this one out just a tad bit so they're a little bit more symmetrical. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be. It's fluid art, but I just kind of want them to complement each other, I'll say. And then let's see, referencing my design, I think I want to have something where it comes out like that, and maybe something down that way, like that so far. So almost like it's a stand. And then with a thing like that. And then going outward, I kind of want something with leaves like that. Something like that. And our focal point will be right there and about right here. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a little bit more purple. I've added these little loops because I just think it looks pretty with it like that. And it's kind of like those leaves that I drew anyways on my design. So it looks pretty cool, right? Now let's go in with this kind of an aqua green. These colors are somewhat like peacock colors. Bound to look pretty, right? How fun. And that's why I highly recommend doing sketches Not only does it build your skills for being able to draw, if you like to draw, and I love to draw, but it also, there's something for you to reference. And that's saying a lot when you're creating. Especially with fluid art, it's got a mind of its own. What a fun design. I hope it blows out pretty. These are a lot of colors, so I may not be able to add a real thick layer. My hand's getting tired, or my arm is. And a little bubble. I can get that bubble real quick. A big old bubble. Now, this is kind of it's a pearl lime green. It almost looks like I'm making a flower down on each end of these. Ooh, how cool. I really like just leaving it like that. Should we leave it like this? Oh no, we can't. But I like it. Very interesting. White areas. I do believe I see a little bit of a piece of something in there. Get that out of there. Got it. Ooh, let's add this. This is, I think this is, I want to say it's, I'll have to figure out what the name of this one is, but I think it's like a fuchsia. This one needs just a little bit more. It didn't quite take. Yeah, just a tad bit more of that. And then I'm going to top it off with this kind of a shocking lime green. Wow, look at all these colors. Now, what I want to say about having a lot of these colors, when you're picking your colors, I always make sure that it's not going to make mud when you're blending the colors together. If you mix like a red and a black together, that likely will make green. So you need to think about what colors you're laying on top of each other to ensure that you're not getting an undesirable effect. So now it's time to blow this out and see what happens. I'm super excited. Make sure that we have enough room. I'm going to start with that in first, so I can reach it fairly easily from the center going outward. It's coming out really pretty. Wow. I think they come out so pretty. I'm super excited. Now we can do that botanical technique to it, and it's really going to come together. I'm going to put a focal point here and a focal point here, and it's all going to look so pretty, like little bouquets at each corner. So you'll be able to hang this piece in any direction likely. Let's get started. Now, the trick is to which direction. I think I'm going to go this way. Seems the most likely. Turn it this way. Bring it up slowly for a nice circle. That looks really pretty. Make sure I wipe that paintbrush off. Bring this one all the way around. Oh, it almost looks like a little flower. It's going to be like a flower in the middle here. Looking beautiful. It blew out really nice. So pretty. Let's see. Always remember which direction you're dragging towards your focal point when you have a focal point. That's the key. Sometimes it's good to imagine the line before you actually draw it to see what and if you're going to like it. I definitely am liking how this is looking. I'm going to take the rounded straw and blow this area right here a little bit more. It gives it a little bit better form for this particular leaf. And notice I'm not dragging it all the way through the other lines that I've already created. And wow, this is really coming out beautiful. I do have some that's going over the edge here, which is fine because I have some going over the edge here and here as well. So I have here and here, and then here and here. So really works out beautiful in as far as composition goes. I'm loving it. And I may leave the rest of that because they're all individual leaves, little petals, very floral looking. So now I am going to, let's see, I think I can reach it from here. So I'm going to, let's see, that was that way. So let's see if it'll work out that way as well. Is that the right way? Yeah, I think going this way is going to be the best. There's a little bubble right there. I can pop it. Oh, it just popped. And I carefully bring my paintbrush out of the paint because then it has time to settle. You have to be very gentle with it. You notice that the speed in which I am creating these is fairly slow. There's no need to rush. Another thing that I like to do with this type of design is do your outer petals first and then come back and identify if you need to add any more interest to your painting by adding that much more leaves or definition, I'll call it. I really think these are so pretty. Something different. So I have all my outer leaves kind of defined. Oops, except for this one, I forgot. Just drag it right there and bring it to that one. And then we need to add some more. I really think it looks pretty, but I also think I want to add like that. And you can add as many as you want just to define it a little bit more, whichever you prefer. There's no rule. And flowers look different, right? They're all different. They all have different kinds of petals. But this has a botanical feel to it and very organic looking. And yeah, I think it's coming out really quite pretty. And that, you know, I think it looks pretty like this. I think we're about done with this one. She looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna call her done. I'm gonna clean up the sides and call it done on this one, guys. And so in our next video that I'll be doing, we're gonna be doing a round 20 by 20 inch canvas. So I am going to just fix up the center in here, maybe add a drop. Yes, I will be adding a drop of what color? Maybe the deep purple. I'll add a drop of deep purple right in here to really make that center stand out nicely. This one has a couple of air drops, so I am going to just fix the center just a bit, just by swirling my paintbrush around a minute. That looks better, although I wish it was more like that one. But I can try to add a tad bit of this to it. So you can try to fix your middles by adding another color to it. So I did that, right? And then I can add, so they kind of match a little bit better. I'll add another purple drop. It'll make it spread out a little bit more, because the more paint you add, the more it's going to spread. But Guys, I think this turned out beautiful. So I'll see you in my next video as we create that 20 by 20 inch round.